How's it going, guys? My name is Player, and today it's something different. We're gonna be talking about the Defender Saga. They just canceled. They just canceled the Punisher. I'm really mad about that. Um, why you have to do this, Netflix? Huh? All right. So, uh, what I was going to say, we're going to I'm going to give you guys a review of how I think of the Defender Saga, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and the Punisher, and the Defenders itself. Um, the first one we're going to the first one we're going to talk about is the legendary #1 Marvel show and the best Marvel show out there, Daredevil. Now, Daredevil is a total masterpiece. I love the show. It's so freaking good. And season 1, when I first saw season 1, I was like, whoa, yo, this is really good. I'm really starting to love this show. And the villain to start off with the series is Wilson Fisk, also known as the Kingpin. And actually, I hate every villain that comes out, but it was a pretty good start for hero work. And I gotta say, the show is really gory. So, and my parents let me watch that series, and actually, yeah, it is the best show I've seen. So season 1, I I love the fighting skills. I love everything about Daredevil. He is one of the biggest and greatest superhero of Marvel that Stanley has. Also mentioning Stanley, rest in peace. I miss him so much. He was my hero. I miss him. Rest in peace. That legend, that legend. I call him a legend because he did so many ideas. All right. Anyway, back to the reviews of the Defender Saga. The new suit. The suit looks so cool. I love the suit. I totally think that Charlie Cox is the perfect Daredevil I've ever seen. He's so much better than Ben Affleck in my opinion because I didn't like Ben Affleck that much. And he fits the perfect he fits a perfect fit for Daredevil. And I rate season 1 a 6 out of 5. It's a total masterpiece. I'm not even going to lie. The second season is where the Punisher comes out. And I totally did not expect the Punisher at all. Also, guys, if you if you haven't seen these series, this might be spoilers for you. So if it's spoiling for you, please don't watch this video. Uh, so I was saying, season 2 is where the Punisher comes out. John Bernthal. John Bernthal. Whoa! I did not expect him to be the Punisher. The Punisher is totally one of my favorite anti superheroes, even though I don't agree with the killing. But man, I was like, John Bernthal is a good Punisher right now, and until the show came out, and I was like, whoa, this is really intense. All right. we'll talk about that later. I'll talk about the other shows and then the Punisher. And so when I saw John Bernthal, I recognized him because he was in The Walking Dead, and I was like not expecting John Bernthal to be the Punisher, and then they took him in court, and Frank Castle meets with, of course, Wilson Fisk, the guys who Foggy Nelson and Matt Murdock put in jail. Even though they were two amateurs, but they still got Fisk in that cell, and I'm glad about that. um, so I can see why the Punisher is killing people, and I'll explain that more after explaining all the shows. I love everything about Daredevil. The fight with the Punisher, I was like, oh my god, this is super super intense. And man, the Punisher's crazy. I'm not even going to lie. He's a pretty crazy character in my opinion. And yeah, and here's the thing that here's a villain group called the Hand. Now the Hand is is formerly like uh oh yeah, I forgot to mention this lady, uh Madame Gao. These two guys, Madame Gao and Nobu. No, Nobu's a Japanese, and Madame Gao is just a Mongolian person, and Madame Gao, uh, she's an Iron Fist also, and I did not expect that. And even though I'll explain everything else in Iron Fist. So, Madame Gao is part of this group called the Hand, and Daredevil's teacher, I forgot to mention, Stick. Stick, he warned Matt for for um for the Hand being like in a danger to everyone in New York in Hell's Kitchen. And yeah, I gotta say, they are really dangerous, and I did not expect Fisk or Stick, I mean, to to be part of the Hand because he worked for the Hand, and he he didn't want to because they were bad guys. And then here comes Electro, who's oh man, I forgot her actual name. Electra, she's really cool. I and also really bae. Not just kidding. Um, yeah, she's really cool. I really like Electra. She's really intense also. She's an anti superhero also. And Electra, man, the way she dies at the end of season two, I wasn't expecting that at all. It was really sad for Matt. And at the end of season two, it's where the Punisher helps Matt, and actually, Stick kills Nobu, and Nobu was really like annoying because uh, you know how I hate villains more. um, so yeah, and I rate season two a 5 out of 5, even though the first season was much better than the second, and the third season. It's after the Defenders, which I'm about to explain it all at the end of this video. So, in season three is where Matt Matt, he after the defenders, there was a building collapsing, which was about to hand, uh, and actually, I felt bad about Matt right there, and Electra must have died in there, and I was like, oh, that's so heartbreaking, dude. And Wilson Fisk is back, and we have a new villain on board, Bullseye. And Bullseye, I gotta say, he's one of the most dangerous villains I've seen. And that heartless bastard just killed Father Langton, trying to kill Karen. Even though Karen is one of my favorite characters, even Foggy. Um, and why did they have to kill Father Langton? And oh, man, his last words were, "Matt, please forgive me." He said forgive him because mm, uh, that that nun that Matt that she was helping Matt was his mother, and I was like, what? What? Yeah, and oh my god, I was so surprised by that. So yeah, I'm so mad that they had to kill Father Langton like that. But first of all, the finale, it was really good. It was mind blowing. I was like, and actually, it was totally the best season of Daredevil I've seen. So I rate this. So how do I rate this season? I rate it as a 7 out of 5. It's totally a masterpiece. Anyways, let's go to Jessica Jones. Now, Jessica Jones, the first season, we have this villain called Kilgrave, and this is where Luke Cage appears for the first time. Now, this is where Luke Cage appears for the first time, and then they made the show for him. And so Kilgrave is like a ordering a villain because he has power to order people, like someone to spill coffee on their faces, like that. Oh god, uh, someone to stab their heart, someone to shoot themselves, like that's so sick, dude. Even though it's just a show. um, but yeah, I gotta say, the intro I love Daredevil. The intro of Daredevil I love. The intro of Jessica Jones is really cool too. Um, yeah, and actually, there's nothing better than Daredevil itself, but Jessica Jones is pretty good too. So, how do I rate the first season? I rated a 4.5 out of 5. It's pretty good. It's pretty good until the ending. She just snaps Kilgrave's neck, and I was like, really? So that's that. That's how he dies. That's what. Okay. And I mean, I didn't like that. Like, I almost didn't like that, but it's still a good show. I loved it. And next season of Jessica Jones, yeah, they're going to cancel Jessica Jones until the season, the third season of Jessica Jones comes out, and now the second season. Um, is where her mom appears. And I did not expect that at all. I was like, what? I thought she died in the car accident with her dad and her brother. And I mean, she might be a drunken mess, but she's not heartless. She's not that heartless. I feel I know how she feels. I know her emotions. I've seen so many so many crazy things that she does, but including sex with Luke Cage. I'm sorry, that's not appropriate. But um, so this is where the mom appears, and she's really powerful than Jessica, and Trish, she did a lot of dumb things. And dumb things are not the things I like at all. And what Trish does is steal her ex's inhaler with drugs. And actually, it makes her reflexes like really on top. But she got sick after 12 or 24 hours after taking that inhaler crap. Man, why would you do that, Trish? And you're you're becoming dumb. Why would you do that? Drugs is not going to help you. Um, and actually, and the worst thing of all, in the ending was kind of messed up. It was really sad. It was not. Uh, it was not that I like it, but it was really messed up. Uh, is where Trish shoots her mom, shoots Jessica's mom in her head, in front of her. Jessica, you would have stopped her. You would have sent her to jail. That what was Trish thinking? She thought that killing her would solve everything. And actually, killing doesn't solve anything. Violence doesn't solve anything. Even though, Daredevil with those fighting scenes and Jessica with those badass jumping and those that super strength and beating up those bad guys. Yeah, I love that. But not as. But killing, I don't agree with. I agree with the punching and the kicking. um, so I rate season two of 4.5 out of 5 because well 4.7 out of 5 because it's so much better than the first season. The first episode of the second season, it was pretty much a joke. It was pretty funny, but I liked it. Now let's go to Luke Cage. Now Luke Cage. Well, I'm ready for the third season, and just to make sure. Now Luke Cage. It's a really good show. It's a badass show. I love the intro of that. The colors, the man. We're in a city called Harlem. Harlem is uh, looks like a beautiful city. I'm not even going to lie. The first season is where is the great introduction of Luke Cage, and actually, man, that's one of the biggest shows I've ever seen. And actually, yeah, but not that good as Daredevil. Daredevil's much better. Um, and so here's this guy called Diamondback, which is his brother, and actually here's a bullet that's called the Judas bullet. He's bulletproof, and the Judas bullet is his weakness. Now, I was like, what? And when he got shot, I was like, what? I mean, how was that possible? I was like, how did he get shot? And I mean, Luke Cage is really powerful, but he must have had a weakness right there. And actually, yeah, I love Luke Cage. It's pretty much a good show. It's pretty much better than Jessica Jones in my opinion. I love Jessica Jones, but I love Luke Cage more. So, and here is Mariah Stokes. Mariah Stokes, she doesn't belong there. She killed a lot of people. She even killed her own brother and a Cottonmouth. She even killed her own brother Cottonmouth. And Luke Cage, he goes to jail in the ending, and I was like, come on, bro. So yeah, I really like the first season. I rate that as a 5 out of 5. Woo! And actually, yeah, it's really good show. I really recommend you guys to check these shows out. If you haven't yet, then I really recommend you guys to check it out. All right, let's go to the second season. Well, the second season was the best one yet, and actually, Luke Cage is this was after the Defenders. This is where Luke Cage uh and pretty much returns back to Harlem, and Misty is missing an arm. I forgot about Misty. She's pretty cute. um, uh, Also, Luke was with Claire in the first episodes, but then they had a little bit of space, and Claire was pretty much in the other shows, and I was like, mm, hey, I like this Claire character. And actually, I wanted to see Claire with Luke Cage in the ending, but apparently it's not. It didn't happen that right there. And here's this new villain called Bushmaster. Now Bushmaster, he's pretty crazy. He's kind of bulletproof, but not that bulletproof as Luke Cage, because the bullets are kind of like in him instead of out him. And he fights pretty good. I'm not even going to lie, but I still hate him because he's a villain. And actually, and let's talk about the ending of the second season. The second season was pretty interesting. I wanted to see how this show going was going to keep going, and Mariah Stokes dies, and it was messed up. So yeah, oh, how do I rate the second season of Luke Cage? I rate this a 6 out of 5 because it's totally one of the best. It's totally the best season of Luke Cage I've seen. All right, moving to the other show, Iron Fist. Now, Iron Fist. The first season wasn't that good. Um, it's just that it didn't have enough action, and I think I think Mike Coulter is a good person to play as Luke Cage. Christian Ritter is a good Jessica Jones, and Charlie Cox is the best Daredevil. Totally better than Ben Affleck. I didn't like Ben Affleck that much, so I was saying Finn Jones it looks like a fit character for Iron Fist, but the show didn't have enough action. Well, the first season didn't have enough action. Uh, but Madame Gao comes out, and I was like, what? Madame Gao comes out, and the Hand is back in this show. And actually, I since the hand was all over, I was like, "Oh, these guys never give up, do they?" And actually, I totally understand why the defenders were fighting them, and I'll explain that more. Uh, and actually, Colleen, Colleen, she almost does every thing with the action, and actually, uh, I mean, Danny, he doesn't do that much action, and actually, the story kind of fits in. His glowing fist is really cool. I love it. Boom, boom, and yeah, pretty much that. But how do I rate the first season of Iron Fist? I rate it as a 3 out of 5. They didn't do a great job on the first season. Okay, moving on to the second season. Now, the second season was pretty much better than the first. Um, so I gotta say, after the fight with the hand, um, I did not expect Colleen to do all the action. It, well, Danny Rand, he did a lot more action than the first season. Fighting against Davos, fighting against so many people. He was being reckless with the fist sometimes, but he got over and he got over with using the fist a little bit less. And actually, Finn Jones, he is like a good Iron Fist in my opinion. Uh, I just wish that there was somebody who can act as a martial artist Danny Rand. That's all. And but yeah, how would I rate? And he gives Colleen the Iron Fist, and but Danny at the end, he gets the Iron Fist back, but 2 Iron Fists this time with the guns. Boom. And that was pretty cool. I love it. Um, so how would I rate the second season of Iron Fist? I would rate it as a 4.5 out of 10 out of 5. It was so much better than the first season. I loved it. I wanted it to keep going, even though these shows these shows were really good. Um, Daredevil got canceled. I was so mad about that. I wanted to see what season 4 was about. And Luke Cage, yeah, I told you guys why. I'm so mad that they canceled it because I wanted to see what happens in the third season. And Iron Fist, I wanted to see what happens in the third season also. It was an interesting ending in season 2. So, moving on to the Defenders. They only did one season. It deserved a second season, in my opinion. It was it was kind of underrated than like the first season of like, well, not exactly as the first season of Iron Fist, but it was pretty underrated. Uh, 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 Actually, the first season of Iron Fist deserved to be underrated, but the Defenders, the first season, they didn't deserve to get underrated because first of all, um, people hated it because it was all about the hand, fighting the hand, and I didn't even see problems with it at all. And I actually uh, saw Danny Rand do a lot more action than on the show Iron Fist in this series, and man, teaming up together, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist. I was like, yo, this is a good team up. I really love it. I really love this. And but then this villain comes out, and an anti superhero comes out. Um, Elytra is back, and I was like, how was she even alive? Well, of course she was alive because in the ending there was a sneak peek of in the ending of season 2 of Daredevil was a sneak peek, and I was like, to be continued on the Defenders, and actually she did get revived, and I was not expecting that. And Sigourney Weaver was the main villain, but then Elektra kills Elektra kills her, and now Madame Gao and all the other villains are trying to destroy the Defenders, but apparently the Defenders destroyed the Hand, and I'm glad about that because uh, they deserved it. And at the ending, I thought they killed Matt. I thought they killed Daredevil for good, and but he came out alive in that building. But here's my question: Did Electra came out of that collapsing building? I mean, she can't be dead. Mean, I mean she has powers right now, but let's see what happens if Disney Plus renews the series. Uh, how would I rate the Defenders? I would rate it as a 7 out of 5 because it's to- it's totally one of the best shows I've seen. I loved it. Totally loved it. It's totally one of the best Netflix shows I've ever seen. All right, and the last one we're going to talk about is The Punisher. Now, The Punisher. Um, the first season was really good. I really loved it. It's really intense and brutal. It had brutality. Man, he is. I mean, he's an anti superhero, but I don't agree with the killing. Like I said, he kills villains, and actually, here's this guy called David Lieberman. They presumed him dead for many years. Like Frank Castle was presumed dead also, and actually, the show really explains why Frank is doing these things because first of all, his family got killed uh, oh, by gunshots by Billy Russo, by this main villain called Billy Russo, and I was like, oh, I did not expect Billy Russo to be the main villain in the show, and yeah, uh, uh, but the show was really intense and really good. I really loved The Punisher. The ending was really brutal. I did not expect uh, uh, Frank to smash Billy's face into the mirror, and I was like, oh my gosh. uh, and how would I rate the first season? I would rate it as a 7 out of 5. It was totally the best show I've seen. And actually, the second season was pretty good. Um, it didn't have that much intensity and brutality as the first season, and it was pretty good. I loved it. I was really hoping to see Frank Castle in the Defenders season two, and pretty much that's not going to happen. If Disney if Disney renews these series, I really want to see the Defenders come back. Um, all the Defenders. So, I mean, they're not like the Avengers. I mean, I love the Avengers a lot. The MCU is really the best movies I've seen, and actually, let's continue on with the Punisher. The Punisher's pretty good. Uh, yeah, the second season wasn't as good as the first one. Uh, and and John Pilgrim as the villain. I pretty much agree with that. And Billy Russo was still alive. They call him Jigsaw now, and Frank kills him. Spoiler alert. Um, and I pretty much think that Billy deserved that. But like I said, I don't agree with the killing. Alright, and how would I rate the second season? I would rate it as a 4 out of 5. It's pretty much a good show. If you guys haven't checked it out, well, it's not appropriate for kids. If you guys haven't watched it, I recommend you guys to check it out. All right, well that pretty much settles it for the review of the Defender Saga until the what's it called, the third season of Jessica Jones. I'll make a review until I finish the season. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one. Remember to leave a like, subscribe if you want, and as always, peace.